Welcome back. So today we had a big recovery day. Look at Bitcoin right now. Oops, you can't actually see it. I'm going to raise it up. You can see Bitcoin is right around $106,000 once again. And this is despite the fact that yesterday and this morning, markets were down due to this credit rating cut for the US. However, it ended up helping Bitcoin in a big way. And I kind of said that this morning. I expected Bitcoin to recover. And here's the reason why. So in case you missed it, this came out on Sunday. And this was the big down driver, red driver this morning. The downgrade of the US credit rating from the AAA status that we had for many, many, many years down to like the A1 or A1A or something like that, one notch below it, okay? So obviously whenever this happens, it's not a good thing. It shows that the US is not as reliable anymore in terms of paying back debts. And Moody's did this because they said that the US just has too much debt now, okay? So they felt like they had to do it. But you know what? The US market, Wall Street recovered from this. A lot of people just like brushed it off, okay? But this has real consequences because it means that anything that deals with borrowing money is going to get more expensive. Interest rates are going to go up, and we're already seeing the effects of this right away. In fact, mortgages, 30-year mortgages now have climbed back above 7% after the downgrade. So credit cards, mortgages, car loans, anything really is going to get more expensive. Not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. And there are many, like Ray Dalio, Wall Street Titan, says that there's a bigger threat at play, okay? Just because Moody's, downgraded our credit rating by one notch doesn't mean that all is well. The risk is substantial. And we have heard this narrative from many, like from Ray Dalio, Robert Kiyosaki, even others, even Jamie Dimon, right? So it's not a good situation all around. And this relates to Bitcoin because this is the reason why Bitcoin was created. We have a group of people who call themselves Satoshi. They did not want to rely on trusting governments, banks, central banks, basically trusting fiat because they knew, and now I do, and most of you guys know that, hey, governments around the world, not just the US, will always be irresponsible with their spending. Okay, we will always go through periods where there's threats of recession or depression, and there's going to be, economic uncertainty. There's going to be monetary policy applied to kind of even things or help things or balance things, right? There's always going to be something going on. That's why Bitcoin is created, and that's why so many are turning to Bitcoin because they want to opt out. They want to invest in something, first of all, that's not fiat, and second of all, something that is governed by code, not greedy people or politicians, right? Even Jamie Dimon today announced that even though he's still not fully convinced, he is going to allow clients to buy Bitcoin directly at all JP Morgan Chase branches now. That's amazing, right? It shows you the true adoption and maturity of Bitcoin. Everyone, even the naysayers, have no choice but to adopt because this is what the market demands. Because more and more people, like I said, is turning to Bitcoin. Absolutely fantastic. And we have more and more companies every single day. Here's another publicly traded company that plans on putting $100 million worth of Bitcoin into reserve. This morning I covered one. Some other NASDAQ trade company putting $1 billion into their reserve. You're starting to see a domino effect, one after another, after another, after another. This is happening right in front of our eyes. Okay, and the supply is limited. This is why Bitcoin is so important, why I'm such a believer, and why I've been urging everyone to learn more about Bitcoin and truly understand what Bitcoin is about. Because if you do understand, you'll want to HODL and DCA forever. And more people are starting to recognize that. Companies are recognizing it, countries and everyone else in between. Absolutely fantastic. And if you're looking at metrics, Bitcoin reserves keeps on going down. Okay, the balance on all the exchanges continue to go down and down and down. And of course, this makes sense. The ETF inflows and everything that's been happening, right? Whale accumulation, retail accumulation. If you're looking at this accumulation chart, blue is actually heavy accumulation. So this shows basically everyone. People under 1 Bitcoin, people between 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000, 10,000, plus 10,000 are all heavily accumulating Bitcoin. The only category is 1 to 10, amount of people that are holding 1 to 10 Bitcoin, still accumulating, just not as heavily as the other categories. But still, overall, everyone is accumulating, okay? So things are looking great once again. We are coming back up. It'll be very interesting to see what happens again tonight with Asia, then Europe, then tomorrow with Wall Street, obviously, right? But with this renewed push upwards, we could be seeing that all-time high sooner than later, right? But today's credit rating cut is a real reminder of why holding on assets like Bitcoin, governed by code, that has scarcity, you can't apply monetary policy to it. An asset like Bitcoin is so important. Now, outside of Bitcoin, we have a lot of other crypto projects, obviously. They have come up a little bit. There's a few of them to talk about. Let's see. The first one is Ripple. You guys love Ripple. I know that. They are still trying to dominate the space. They are still trying to buy out Circle before they IPO. So right now, it's rumored that Circle wants to sell either to Coinbase or to Ripple. They're playing hard to get. Okay, so Ripple's offering a ton, billions for Circle with cash, with stock, right? They're trying to do it because this will help them push forward in the stablecoin game. They obviously have their own stablecoin and they want to layer in the USDC from Circle, right? And this is still ongoing. Ripple has over $100 billion in their war chest. They got plenty of money and they are in total acquisition mode. Okay, and if they actually do this, it's going to be absolutely huge. But in addition, Ripple is still pushing. Okay, they're going to UAE banks, very popular with Japanese or Asian banks. Also, Bank of America, supposedly, all their internal transactions are using XRP and XRP Ledger. I mean, from a financial standpoint, growth standpoint, they are still doing very well in the financial sector, right? So Ripple, XRP, looking pretty bright. And plus, we know they had their futures ETFs launch. They had their futures launch, futures-based ETF launch, and soon they will get their spot ETFs as well. And I think that's going to be super important when the bull market commences, especially during altcoin season. Now, someone else that's going to get spot ETF is Cardano. But Cardano's facing a little heat right now, or you could say a little FUD, depending on who you ask. So we have this person right here that's spreading FUD. This actually came out a week ago about, he's claiming that Charles Hoskinson utilized the Genesis keys, rewrote the Cardano ledger, the last hard fork, and the foundation stole about $600 million with the ADA, and they wiped out the transactions from the chain, right? A lot of people do not believe this. It's very technical if you go through everything he says. I don't even understand a lot of it, but he seems very confident, bring all the facts. But Charles does not like it at all. And Charles is like, this is completely false. He has no idea what he's saying. We definitely did not steal $600 million. And we will do a full audit to prove that nothing of the sort was done. But it has shaken up Charles a little bit. He did post this in response that, you know, the way he's going to be responding on X or responding to people is going to be a little bit different going forward because this claim really hurt him. But we'll see. We'll see what comes out of there. Regardless, you got a ton of Cardano people that love what Charles is doing, loves what Cardano is doing, still trying to become the most decentralized project in the space in terms of governance and tokens and everything, right? And that is why you have so many whales that continue to buy the dip. And like I said, Cardano is one of the candidates to get their own spot ETF. And like I said, if they do get it, it's going to help quite tremendously when altcoin season hits and when the bull run commences once again. All right, guys, we are looking good. I originally wanted to do a live stream. I said if we were going to hit all-time high. We're not quite there yet, but we are going upwards. Asia has woken up, so they may be buying. We're at 106.2. Let's see where we end up tonight and where we will be tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, so strap on, get ready, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you smash up that like and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.